Okay, so you asked me to talk about the certified internal auditor certification. But before I start, I would like to ask you a question first. So if you can go to menti.com and use the code 59333396. And I would like to check first before I start, what does being certified means to you? So if you can go to Menti code 59333396 and let me know what does being certified means to you. Okay. Okay, let me share. Here you go. Okay, so we have two answers here. Someone who is actually qualified for certain field. Certified for me is being qualified to a certain title. Well, of course, it means being responsible of the title that you have. That's good, actually. For every field or every certification, there's certain standard that you need to follow in order for you to actually keep your certification. To be certified means an authentic validation of something as to its existence and is mostly recognized by anyone. Yes, but you really need to select or probably identify properly the certification that you will get recognized in a field. Of course, it's a responsibility that one must uphold. Certified means you are properly acknowledged with the knowledge and skills you have, possess certain characteristics and qualifications. Okay, thank you very much for your responses. It's good to see different responses in terms of what does being certified means to you. So let me now return to my presentation. Okay. So let me give you a brief background first in terms of the Certified Internal Auditor certification. So it was launched globally in 1973. So this is quite an old certification already, So most highly sought after global certification for internal audit professionals. So a lot of internal audit professionals actually take this certification to show, as you have mentioned, that they are knowledgeable in the field of internal auditing. Currently, there are 157,000 CIA certified individuals worldwide. So quite a few, probably, compared to certified professional accountants. Then this is the core certification of the Institute of Internal Auditors. So for every certification, there's an organization that's actually supporting it. That's why it's very important for the organization to be credible in order for the certification to mean something. And for the Certified Internal Auditor, it's a certification that's actually sponsored by the Institute of Internal Auditors, and it's actually the core certification of the IIA. Okay, Then if you're going to look at the second to the last bullet, it says there it's foundation for continued improvement and advancement. So basically, the you don't stop once you become a CIA. It's not actually the start and it's not the end as well, because being a certified professional means it requires continued improvement and advancement. I think you know that as well, because even for the CPA licensure examination, or probably the certification, it requires continued professional development. It requires for you to actually take certain credits every year in order for you to retain your certification. Then, of course, it indicates integrity, knowledge, and experience. So let me move on to the next slide. So what does a CIA certification proves? It means that, well, the first two bullet, if we're going to look at it, there's some certain framework and there's certain standards that you follow as an internal auditor. And when you are CIA certified, then it means that you possess a knowledge that of this framework, of this standard. Then third bullet is actually you understand organizational governance and can apply tools and techniques to evaluate risk and controls. This one is the technical knowledge, no, that comes with the certification. It shows that you have an understanding of this risk and controls. Then can apply business, IT, and management acumen needed for internal auditing. So basically, you know the necessary skills or technical skills that you need in order for you to be a good internal auditor. Then moving on, what is the value of the certification? I think this is very important. It validates your skills and knowledge. So basically, being certified, if you can look at the word validate, it validates your skills and knowledge. It means that you already have it. It's just you're just validating it, and that's very very critical. No, a lot of international certification requires you to have minimum number of years of experience before you get certified. It means you already know it, and the certification actually validate that skills and knowledge. Well, for our local certification, the CPA licensure examination at present, it does not require experience before you get certified, but I think almost all international certification experience is a prerequisite before you become certified. Okay, it enhanced credibility and respect in the field. This one is a bit, well, a bit tricky. Yes, it enhanced credibility and respect to a certain extent. Remember, a lot of us, we fancy about, you know, passing the exam. Sometimes we even want, no, to top the exam. And what do we get after that? We get that credibility and respect in the field. Recruiters come after us. They want us to join their respective organization. But does it prove that you are really good in that field? Probably yes, or probably no. So it depends. That's why I said this is a bit tricky, because companies, recruiters run after us because we passed, or probably we top certain certification. This does not apply only to CIA certification, but probably in any other certification, because it proves something. It seems like it's a perception that you're actually good, but the real game will actually start when you're in the company, and you will actually show what you really have in you. So probably it's a good thing that it will enhance your credibility and respect in the field, but later on it's really up to you to actually showcase that. Then increasing marketability and earning potential. This is actually, you'll see probably in probably some of the job ads that there are certain requirements for certain positions, wherein you must be CIA certified, CISA certified, or probably some indicate that it's preferred, some probably it's mandatory, but it's to a certain extent, it increases your marketability and earning potential. Then it demonstrates your understanding of and commitment to the practice of internal auditing. As mentioned, there's certain framework, there's certain standards that you need to follow. Very much similar to your CPA licensure examination, wherein you have that code of ethics, you have that standards that you need to follow. It's very similar for the CIA certification. You need to understand that framework, you need to understand that standard, and you need to uphold, or you need to commit that you're going to practice internal auditing in accordance to that framework and standard. And of course, providing global consistency. This is very much true for any other certification wherein there's certain set, as mentioned, there's certain set of standards. Hence, basically, regardless of where you are, as long as you follow that framework, as long as you follow that standard, then there will be consistency across the globe wherever you are. So this actually makes it easier to port skills from one country to the other. Unlike some of the certification, if it's a local certification, it might be acceptable in one country, it might not be acceptable in another country. So that's the probably a beauty of international certification as well, because it's being recognized globally. So if you're certified internal auditor, then it's not only recognized here in the Philippines, but it's recognized in a lot of countries as well. So you get to enjoy the benefit of having that certification, not only here in the country, but in a lot of countries as well. Okay, so that's the value of certification. Then I think this is one of the questions that you have when I received the invite in terms of what's required for a CIA certification. So these are actually the basics. The first bullet is actually education. This is proof required for program entry, meaning before you can even apply to take the certification exam, there's certain educational requirements that you should possess in order for you to take the examination. So normally these are bachelor's degree. It's a requirement for you to actually apply for the certification. But there's actually, I think, a student they are allowing students, those who are actually in their terminal year, probably in your fourth or fifth year, depending on your program. And if you're about to graduate, probably one or your last 1 or 2 terms, then you can actually show that as a proof in order for you to actually take the exam before you even graduate with your bachelor's degree. Then second bullet is actually work experience. It says here, proof required for program exit. It means you can actually take the exam even you don't have the work experience, because it's not required before you actually take the exam. The work experience is actually required in order for you to be certified. So you can take the exam after probably immediately after graduating, but the certification will not be provided to you unless you comply with the work experience requirement. Of course, third and last bullet, character reference and proof of identification. I think it's similar to any other certification. You need to have good morals in order for you to be certified. Remember, our profession, whether it's a CPA, it's a CIA, or it's CISA, integrity, good morals is very, very much important. It's the cornerstone of our profession, and going into a certain profession, it requires that you possess that good morals, integrity, in order for you to be allowed to even take the exam. So I think that's common in any certifications that you will actually encounter. You will actually see this character reference or proof of identification. So it's common. And so basically, these are the basics, no, in terms of what's required for CIA certification. But for students like you, as mentioned, it's something that you can take the exam even before you graduate for your in your bachelor's degree. I think probably in your last one or two terms now. So that's something that you can check if you're interested to actually take the exam even before graduating. But of course, this certification comes with a price as well. I think it's similar to what Conrad mentioned to you earlier in terms of the CISA certification. So it's a bit pricey. I think if you convert it into Philippine peso, it's somewhere around 35,000 in order for you to actually sit in an examination. So it's not something that probably out of um, just random decision, but it's something that you really need to think about if you really want to take the exam. Unless, of course, you really have a lot of money to actually spend taking the certification. So it's a lot expensive compared to the CPA licensure examination. Okay, so that's the basics. So I think this one is very important as well in terms of who can be part of the IA function. We always think about internal audit function as a profession probably for certified public accountant, but that's not true. Well, probably majority of those who are actually part of the function are CPAs because we do understand the business. We do understand how uh, the financial reporting works. We can easily connect uh, any issues or any observations to the business because we know the language. But you'll actually see a number of different professions who are actually part of the internal audit function. So you'll actually see engineers, can actually see architects, can actually see doctors and nurses, and even lawyers who are part of the internal audit function. It depends on the industry of the company that where the company actually operates. And of course, I understand there's also this new bachelor's degree on internal auditing. So that's something very interesting, especially for us in the Institute of Internal Auditors. As I'm currently part of the board of IIA, and we are very much supportive in terms of the bachelor's degree in internal auditing. It's something that to actually showcase that being an internal auditor is a distinct and it's a separate profession of its own. It's not really just for accountants, but it's basically for a lot of other professions who can be part of the internal audit function. It's just that accountants are more or less probably closer to the function compared to the other profession, given our knowledge on business and of course the standards that that goes with financial reporting. But the other professions are very much part of the function as well. So that's something I think not a lot of people actually know. Okay, so that's it. Then there's one question that I would like to answer. This is actually my last slide already. I think a lot of the items were already covered no, by Conrad in earlier presentation, so I don't want to make this long. And basically, what you see in CISA and what you see in CIA is basically very much the same. And in terms of do I need to apply for a certification? So basically, it depends on your career plans. This is very, very important. As what we're seeing in IIA, there are a lot of professionals who actually take the CIA certification, and after a few years, they no longer renew their um, certification or designation. And we try to reach out to these professionals. Some of them are actually answering, and they are telling us that, I took the certification because that's what my friends are actually taking during that time. But after a few years, I really did not see that the certification is already relevant no, for uh, the career that I'm taking. Hence, I did not renew the certification anymore. So a lot of responses we received that the certification is no longer aligned with their career plan, so they're giving it up. They're no longer renewing. So instead of really spending so much money in terms of renewing the certification every year, I think for CPA license, the CPA license you renew it every 3 years, but for CIA and a lot of international certification, you renew that every year. So aside from the renewal cost, there's this CPA requirements. So meaning you need to make sure that you have certain number of credits in order for you to be certified, and a number of this um, probably program where you can get this credits are not really for free. So meaning you need to spend in order for you to be updated, in order for you to get that credit. So it's kind of expensive. And based on the professionals no, that we have reached out, that's basically their main reason. The certification is no longer aligned, hence they're not renewing. Okay, that's why the question, do I need to apply for a certification or do I need to apply for a CIA certification? So my answer to that is it depends on your career plans, because we have already seen a lot of professionals who actually gave up no, their certification because it's no longer aligned, or it's not aligned per se in their plans. And second is actually the certification is only as good as the experience that comes with it. The certification alone means nothing. The certification is only as good as the experience that comes with it. That's why if you're going to look at it, a lot of international certification, probably all, in order for you to be certified, it requires certain number of years of experience, because the certification is only as good as the experience that comes with it. And I joined a few minutes now before Conrad ended his talk, and I heard him saying that it's very much important that you back with experience. You don't go in front of your management. You don't go in front of your clients saying, "Hey, I'm certified. I'm all knowing. I know everything already." But without that experience that will actually back your certification, it's a bit difficult. It might not mean a lot. It might uh, probably to a certain extent might be a misrepresentation as well. That's why it's very important that you pick the right certification for you. How does your future look like? What do you really want? Who do you really want to be? and how do you see yourself? If you don't know that yet, then that's not a problem, because I think a lot of us started that way as well. Um, if you don't plan that in a long term, then you don't you give yourself some slack, and really try to uh, take your career probably a week, a month, or a few years at a time, and really think about what you want. And if you already know um, what career you have, you want to have in the future, and uh, how you want or how do you see yourself 5, 10 years from now, then take the certification that actually goes with that plan, because it's good to see that you have the experience, and at the same time the certification that goes with that plan of yours, and um, that's something that I think you should look forward. You should look forward to. Okay, so that's it in terms of my presentation. So I'll turn you back to our host.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Vijay.
Sorry, nakaano pala yung mic. Thank you, sir, for that knowledgeable talk po. I'm sure our JPians learned a lot po from the talk. And now, we will be opening the floor for questions from our delegates that are watching in our Facebook Live. JPians, you can now comment your questions or clarifications on our comment section. But before waiting, I have some personal questions lang po, sir, if you wouldn't mind po.
Sure, go ahead.
So, on your own opinion po, what for example po, a student want or after graduating, he wanted to take the certification for CIA. What do you think po is the best time to take the certification po for the said certification?
Ah, the best time is actually when you're ready. So it varies, no, probably from different individuals. There's actually those who with very loud music. So, okay. Um, so it varies, no, per individual. Some would like to take the exam even before having that experience. You can. Some would like to take the exam after gaining the experience. But in my case, I think personally it's a lot easier when you have that experience already, because that's why it's very important that what you do um, relates or probably relevant to the certification that you're going to take, because the everyday work, the everyday activity that you do
Actually,
actually
please.
contributes to the
Not only that, globally. In
preparation, no, for that exam. But it depends. My answer to that is really whenever you are ready.
Yes, sir. Thank you po, sir, for answering my questions. So, partner,
Ayan, sir. Narinig niyo na siguro yung question ko. So, yun, sir. A little bird told me na you actually placed top 1 globally in the CIA exam. And not only that, but you also placed fourth sa CPA naman during your time. Can you validate this?
Keith, well, that's correct.
Siguro, sir, alam niyo na yung little bird na yan, no? Pero yun, sir, my question is, pero itago na lang natin siya sa pangalang Sir Conrad. Joke lang. Pero yun, sir, my question is, yun sir, that is one of the hardest possible things in our journey, sir. Kumbaga, my question is, what can you give us a tip? Kumbaga, how can you obtain that achievement? Kasi sir, yun nga sa ating journey through a CPA or through this profession, it is one of the hardest possible. Kasi hindi hardest impossible eh. It's possible in a way. Hardest possible thing. What can you give us or what tip can you give us on that journey?
Keith, I think you need to align your goals, no, with the certification that you'll actually you will get, because that's very important, no. As mentioned earlier, um, you need to plan your career. You need to know what you want, who you will be in the future, and align the certification that you will actually you need in order for you to get there. In my case, um, the work that I do every day contributes. No, it seems like I'm studying while I'm working, because what I'm doing is very much relevant to the certification that I would like to get. Hence, working the work that I'm doing contributes, not to the preparation for the exam. Unlike, for example, you're doing one thing, let's say you're into forensics, no, and at the same time you're trying to get a financial analyst examination. Those two certifications are very different. So it requires probably a lot of time and a lot of patience from your end, no, in order for you to prepare for that exam. But I'm not saying you should not do it. But if you really have that passion for it, sometimes it feels good, diba, to have that many certifications. Some are actually even taking the bar exam. I have know a lot of people. They are CPAs, and they also took the bar exam. But after actually passing the bar exam, they did not practice actually. But what did they get for passing the bar exam is actually the personal satisfaction that hey, I can do it. Well, probably if you want to, if it's for personal satisfaction and you really have the time and the money for it, then I guess you should go for it, because that's your passion. But if you have probably limited time, limited resources, then I would say that you follow your passion in terms of what that the certification that actually aligns with what you are doing, or the career that you would like to build for you in the future.
Thank you, sir. Yan parang marerelate talaga natin to dun sa motto na sir, na experience is one of the best teacher din talaga. And with that experience, talagang ma-apply mo yun to your, what you're doing or what you want to be in the future. So yun,
And
relate,
Keith,
sir.
there's some modification to that as well. Sometimes, no, um, um, the experience of others is also a great teacher. So it's not only your experience, but the experience of others as well. That's why it's very good to have mentors. It's very good to have um, counselors who will actually guide you to become a better professional in the future, because you don't only rely on your own experience, but you also rely on the experience of others. That way, it'll have a multiplier effect, since there will be more who will actually contribute to who you will be in the future.
Yes, sir. That is noted po talaga. Feeling ko talaga, sir, yung sinabi niyo yun. Talagang ma-attest yun ni Sir Conrad. You know, sir? And yun. Sir, related with that question, sir, dun sa experience, may nag-send po sa akin ng question from an unknown. Sabi dito, sir, ano po daw yung pinaka-worst na problem na na-face nyo during your work? And what did you do to cope up with it?
I really don't categorize the problem, no, that I face, but I, probably it's really more on probably how you will handle the problem once you face it. It's really probably taking a step back and look at the big picture, and try not to decide when your emotions is actually very high. It's something that I learned a lot with my many years of experience. You cannot really assess the situation properly. You cannot give a proper recommendation. You cannot do anything right when that emotion is actually very high. But if you're going to probably pinpoint, one of the hardest probably in terms of my career, it's actually dealing with people. if you follow, if you look at standards, if you look at methodology, if you look at framework, it's very much easier because they don't respond back. You just read them, you just probably analyze them, etc. And you get, it's a one-way communication. But with working with people, it excites me, and at the same time, it challenges me because people actually respond back, and they they respond in different ways, and you really don't uh, get to practice every response that people will actually give you. So sometimes you react on the fly, and it's something that you need to be open, and that's where the not reacting while your emotions are high will actually come in, because working with different people, there's no one set of probably solution that will work. It depends on the person that you're working with. That's why you need time to actually analyze the situation and provide the best response. That's why I can say that it's a skill as well, holding that response, holding that emotions until you get a good grasp of the situation, and so you can actually give a better response, or give a better solution to the problem. But working with different professionals will will probably be the most challenging, in our profession, based on my point of view. But at the same time, it's very exciting to work with young professionals because you meet them and you also learn from them.
Yan, sir, thank you. Talagang ano po, ano sir, it is an exchange, not only sa isang part lang, but an exchange talaga. You learn from us, we learn from you.
Correct. There's really no one, no, who has the monopoly of all the knowledge. So it's something that I think we all need to remind ourselves. No, I'm I'm probably teaching you because not because I'm a lot better than you, but because I'm just ahead of you. And by interacting with young professionals, it gives me actually a lot of insights, a lot of things that I have not actually think about or thought about before. So that's something that excites me actually every day, working with young professionals.
Yan, sir, thank you for that answer. Ayan, sir. By at this time, sir, alam ko marami pang question tong mga JPNs natin. And if you're willing, we can message you for some other question. But for now, I think sa ating mga JPNs ngayon na who actively participated during the discussion, let's now proceed to the reading or the citation of certificate of our appreciation for our speaker. Answer. National Federation of Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants, Region 4 Council, and Sisip Gores Velayo and Company, in partnership with Premier CPA Review and Professional Development Center and RESA Review School of Accountancy. Certificate of Appreciation is hereby presented to Mr. Ryan Gilbert K. Chua, CPA, CIA, for sharing his time, expertise, and knowledge as the guest speaker during the Certified Future Accountants Day with the theme, The Making of Paragon, of National Federation of Junior Philippine Institute of Accountant, Region 4, given this 2nd of May, 2021. So, signed by our RBP for Academics, Ms. Annabel Angeles, our Regional Council President, Ms. Ain Caitlin R. Aguinaldo, our Regional Co-Advisor, Mr. Jeric Fernandez, also Ms. Maria Lea Ungueles, and of course, our Regional Advisor, Mr. George Matthew Makatangay, CPA PSM.
So once again, sir, mula po sa amin sa Silayag.
Hey, Keith, thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. I hope I was able to impart the message and inspired all of you. There's very, very exciting and exciting career awaits for you in our profession. So, to all the attendees of this event, good luck and God bless on your journey of becoming a CPA and to any other certifications that you want to get in the future. I know you'll get it. Just work hard and of course don't forget to pray. It's very very much important. Good luck and God bless on your journey and see you uh, in the real world after graduating from college.
Yes po,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Thank you po once again. And I know all of our JPNs learned a lot today from the talk of our speakers, and we have a lot of words of wisdom, words of motivation from this day, no partner. Ang dami kong na-touch ng sobra yung aking puso na ang dami kong natutunan na hindi ko naisip nung mga nakaraan. So now, to show our gratitude to our sponsors, on behalf of the National Federation of Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants, Region 4, and Sisip Gores Velayo and Company, we would like to thank the following sponsors for this year's Certified Future Accountants Day. We have Premier Professional Development Center and RESA, Review School of Accountancy. Mula po sa amin sa Silayag, taos puso po ang pasasalamat namin sa inyo.